Sheriff Lombardo is walking up to the scene right here. We're at Las Vegas Boulevard and Serene. We're miking Sheriff Lombardo up. We're about to get this news conference underway. He's just arrived here just now, walking up to give us the latest information on what's happened here today.
Are we going to wait 2 minutes? 2 minutes?
We're going to do it right now.
Well, he wants to wait a couple minutes to go live, so.
We're on air right now.
Okay, all right. Join in progress. How's everybody doing? Happy holidays.
Say that again one more time.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Yep, he is about to give us his name title.
Joseph Lombardo, Clark County Sheriff.
Right now.
Lombardo. Who wants to hit me with a question?
Did you really chase him down?
Oh, sure, you had to hit me with that one. No, by happenstance or coincidence, I happened to be at a holiday luncheon at the South Point, and when the call came out around 11:15 this afternoon, and happened to hear it on the radio, and me and my partner responded over here to see what was taking place, and by happenstance, the suspect just came right in front of our vehicle at that point. So I wouldn't say I chased him down. It was a short encounter, and the individual hopped the fence, and we just relayed the information associated with it.
So Channel 13 Action News here live on air. I think the question that we're all wondering is, if you guys had this tight perimeter, how do you get from here to Southern Highlands?
Well, that's obviously it's a continuing investigation. We did have a pretty tight perimeter associated with the event. And, you know, hopefully we'll be able to discern that from the interviews with the suspect. But he was able to get out of the perimeter. I don't know if it was the assistance of another individual, because we had what we believed his car in custody at the original scene. So he may have been assisted by another person, but that's ongoing. He was located in the Southern Highlands area, and he was taken in custody without incident. So.
How were your officers able to find the suspect?
There's a lot of different investigative techniques that we use to do that, and it's better served that we keep it to ourselves.
Can you tell us what led you guys to Southern Highlands?
Just information we received via the investigation. And, you know, it wasn't an absolute. We're just following up on leads as they come in, and by the grace of God, it was a good lead, and the individual was located immediately upon arriving at the location there. So.
Sheriff, could you release the suspect's name?
No, not yet. I don't want to do that until we confirm through interviews the culpability and everything else associated with it.
Do you believe anyone else is involved?
Well, like I said earlier, there may or may be another individual involved, because we have to figure out how he got from here to there. That's a great deal of distance over a short period of time, so we need to figure that out. You know, hopefully it was because he jogged over there, and it wasn't because somebody was helping him. But he was located at a different location. So.
We know that there was an exchange of gunfire. Was he hit and injured at all?
We don't believe at this time. I haven't been told that he's been injured at all. I just came from UMC visiting our officer. He was there with his wife and his son. He's doing well. He's sitting up and talking. He had a pretty substantial injury under his armpit area. The bullet missed his vest, and subsequently he's going to have to deal with that for quite some time. But the doctors assured me that he's going to have full recovery. The timeline associated with that, I have no idea.
Do you have any inkling of the suspect's motive?
No. My understanding was it was a chance encounter at the original scene. It was an individual not even involved with the original call. The officer was on his way to do some investigation up at the front office of the apartment complex when he encountered the suspect.
Did you find a weapon on the suspect?
I haven't been told so.
So you don't know if he was armed at the time of the arrest?
No, I don't. I haven't been told that yet.
Do you know if he has a criminal history?
Don't know that yet.
Was there an exchange of gunfire at all, or how many shots?
Yes, there was. There was an exchange of gunfire. Our officer was able to fire. I don't know what the number of shots were, but he didn't believe that he had hit the suspect. And it's yet to be told whether the suspect sustained any injuries.
How do you feel about the public?
I'm sorry?
Was that officer able to give you any details that helped lead to the arrest?
Well, his description that we had obtained through investigative means over here pretty much matched what we were looking for. So that was beneficial in that aspect.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on the confrontation between the officer and the suspect?
Well, you know, I don't want you to keep digging for investigative details, because that is ongoing, and you know, this individual needs to be charged through the court system, and we want to ensure that occurs appropriately. But as he was walking towards the front office, there was a verbal exchange with the individual. They were questioning each other as to why they were at that location, and then shortly thereafter, in a very short period of time, the suspect produced a weapon and fired on the officer.
What would you say about the public's behavior throughout this whole thing, cooperation or what have you?
You know, it's been absolute. I was actually had the opportunity to return to my office for a short period of time and to check out the network news, and we were getting a lot of leads from the public associated with this, and I even saw individual citizen provided a video associated with the event, which was beneficial, and I'm proud of the community and their efforts to help us and do our job in the police environment, because everybody knows what's going on across the nation, and it's very our officers are dealing with that on a daily basis, and this officer did a great job, and all the officers associated with the investigation did a fantastic job. As you can see, within a short period of time, the suspect was in custody. So.
And kind of a bizarre moment. After you leaving that luncheon, you came face to face with that suspect.
Yeah, that is bizarre, isn't it? You know, I'm still a police officer. I still have all my post training and everything else associated, but it's not about me. It's absolutely not about me. It's about everybody else associated with the event. And I was glad I was able to participate a little bit in that.
Was he taken into custody at a house or a residence? Can you say?
It was a residence. I don't have the address, but it was a non-event over there. Immediately upon our arrival at the associated residence, he exited the residence and he was taken into custody without incident.
Does this kind of stuff put you on an extra high alert? I mean, the shooting of an officer always high alert, but because of what's been going on lately?
That rises to a different level when an individual shoots a police officer. And granted, if you're a victim of a crime, you're just as important to us as we are when our own officers become victims. But you have to think of the mindset of the suspect that is willing to take on a police officer and fire upon a police officer, you know, and all attempt to take that person's life. And so that rises to a complete different level, and it's a larger concern for the public themselves associated with that type of crime. But the question at hand is, are we on pins and needles? In some aspects we are. I mean, the most dangerous job in the police department is that individual patrol officer in a uniform that is responding to an unknown call and has limited information. And I always say that from the very beginning. They have the most dangerous job on the police department because they don't know what's on the other side of that door or what's inside that car. So, and they do a great job doing that on a daily basis.
Former Metro Officer Randy Sutton was saying on our air that police officers, patrol officers have a warrior mindset to be able to be shot and continue performing their duties to fire back on that suspect. Can you speak to that and in regards to what happened today?
Well, I guess that's a good descriptive as far as a warrior mindset if they're encountering an incident. I don't portray my officers having a warrior mindset on a daily basis and dealing with the citizens on their normal routine job. But if an incident does occur, yes, they have to adjust their attitude and adapt that warrior mindset. But prior to that, hopefully they're professional, courteous, and they interact the way they should because they have the training and the equipment to be successful. So that's all I would say on that.
You know, you mentioned this is a chance
Joe
encounter.
Lombardo.
How rare is it? How surprising is it to run into someone who's willing to? How rare is it that this kind of thing happens?
Well, the question is how often or how rare this happens, and in my opinion, it's very rare. I mean, if you put all the media events across the nation together, it doesn't seem like it's rare, but individually within a community, it's very rare, and I'm happy for that fact because we don't want society thinking it's okay to ever encounter anybody with a weapon, no matter who it is.
What's
Can you
a
speak
known
to-
person to you guys?
I can't comment on that.
Can you speak to the presence of mind of the officer to be able to return fire? And
Well, you think about that, the presence of mind. I mean, this officer, he in my mind, is an absolute hero. To have the presence of mind to protect his own safety and be concerned for the safety of everybody else, and to engage this individual and hope for the best outcome. And I hope the training that we've provided him helped him to be successful, and I think we did. And I'm so happy that this guy is going to have a successful life, and we're not responding to a funeral later down the
anything you
road.
can tell us about him, how long he's been with the force?
Approximately 21 years, and he's had a stellar career. and I think it's great. 21 years, and he's out there working patrol, and that's exactly the kind of officers that we need.
Do you know if he's ever fired his duty weapon before?
I don't know. So we will, as standard protocol, we'll have a 72-hour brief that will get into more intimate details on the investigation, and then we'll provide those kind of information of those kind of questions. So as you know, we've had two previous OISs here recently, and Monday we'll provide, we'll get a briefing on that, and I apologize for that delay because of the proximity of events. And then Tuesday we'll provide that briefing, and shortly after that we'll provide the briefing associated with this event.
What's the mood like over at Metro? I mean, this is the third shooting we've had pretty recently.
Right, you know, in my travels, especially even today, the mood's still good. You know, we have a great police department. The people that work there are great, and the mood's good. I just went through the hospital. I interacted with 20 to 30 of the police officers, and they're all great. They're all doing a good job.
And we understand there was a second officer involved
Yeah,
as well?
the original call had 2 officers respond. The other officer was on a different part of the complex. He had heard the gunshots, and he expressed over the radio he believed that his officer was involved in a shooting, and he immediately responded to where the gunshots were heard, and he was able to render aid.
And how's he doing?
He's doing good. He's a little upset. I talked to him for quite a while at the hospital, and but he's doing the best he can. So, and we provide great services associated with these type of events. So.
And what can you tell us about the performance of your officers today?
Oh, they did great. What do you think? What do you think they did? I think they did fantastic. The way they set up the perimeter, the way they had command and control out here, the way they kept the public informed. I was watching our PIO on the air, and hopefully you think he did a good job. I think he did a great job, and we're doing the best we can to keep you informed as long as, because you know what, the second part of that is we're soliciting you to help us, you know, to get that information out there, and maybe you'll have a citizen call in and say, hey, I know where this guy is. So, all right, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
That was Sheriff Joe Lombardo here. You just heard from him, a news conference here near the scene of the crime as he enumerated some of the details of what happened. We're hearing that this injured officer was a 21-year veteran of the force, still working patrol. He's in good spirits and he's doing well, although they are going to have to keep him overnight because of his injuries. We're hearing more about this, although there's still a lot of unanswered questions. We still don't know the motive behind this. We do know that the officer and the suspect exchanged words before the suspect fired on the officer. He did return fire, but Lombardo says he doesn't believe that the suspect was hurt. He doesn't know whether the suspect still had his weapon on him when he was taken into custody, and he doesn't know why he shot at his officer. So there's still a lot of questions. Chief of which, how he got from here all the way to Southern Highlands and St. Rose Parkway. They don't know if someone else was involved, although they think he may have gotten a ride with somebody because he traveled a great distance very quickly. They think there may have been somebody else involved, at least in that capacity, whether this was prearranged or whether it was somebody he just found. That is still yet to be determined, although they're investigating right now. They have that suspect in custody right now. So still a lot of answers to some of our questions, a lot still we don't know the answers to. As Lombardo said, there's some things they won't be telling us because they don't want to reveal their investigative methods. They don't want to give too much away that would hurt the case when this does eventually, if it does go to court. But we'll be finding out some more eventually in 72 hours, probably around next Wednesday, when they have a briefing on this shooting. There have been several recent ones. They're going to have a briefing on an officer-involved shooting on Monday. They're going to have another briefing Tuesday, and then they'll brief us, he said, on this one on Wednesday. So stay with KTNV. We will be on top of all of that, and we'll bring you more information as soon as they release it, as soon as it becomes available to us about what happened here. But just to recap, it started over at the Emerald Suites, an unrelated call when an officer was struck. The suspect is in custody. He was found over in the Southern Highlands area. Live at Las Vegas Boulevard and Serene, Stephanie Zeppelin, Channel 13 Action News.